following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin.
Yes, let's begin. Hi, I'm Christine.
I'm Jada.
And this is 50 Shades of Bullshit, where we talk about all the bullshit in our lives. Speaking of bullshit,
I've got plenty. You want me to go ahead and get started?
I can't wait. I've been dying all morning to hear this shit.
First of all, I hope this connection is good for this story.
You're good.
Christine.
Well, let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
You texted me yesterday and you were like, OMG, I found
met my
a
man.
guy. I met my man. And then I think it was a few hours later, I call you and you're like, fuck this asshole. So you tell us how you met him.
I've had this whole thing. I'm going to meet organically. I'm just going to meet someone, all the things.
Yeah.
So I'm at this restaurant, was supposed to meet a friend of mine, and he's like, I can't make it. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to just grab a drink anyway. So this guy comes in and he's like, you are simply captivating. And I'm like, oh my God, he's looking through my soul. Like, how does he even know me?
So we're talking captivating, but that is fucking a line and a half.
A line and a half. Talking, things are great. We hung out, we saw a movie, enjoyed the weekend.
Okay.
And then.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
It sounds good till now.
So he says, I've been divorced for years.
Okay, hold on 1 second. You're breaking up.
So women.
Okay, now you're back.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I told my girlfriend, I met this. She's like, what's his name? So I say his name.
Okay.
She's like, what is his? I can't with you. She's like, what does he look like? I'm like, girl, he sent me a picture this morning. Let me just show you. So I show her.
Oh my God.
She's like, Jada. I'm like, what? She's like, his wife is my client. I said,
oh my God. And he said he was divorced. Fuck.
12 years.
He said he's been divorced for 12 years. That's a long time to be divorced, to be mistaken.
You think?
So did you ask him? Did you say, hey, you said you were divorced and I just found out today you're not so?
Yeah. And you know what he said?
What?
Oh my gosh, Jada, that's hilarious. I have to go.
Oh yeah, so hilarious. So tell me, Jada, that you became your own matchmaker for a second, because
yes.
I know that you have the ability to do background checks for your clients. Please tell me you did that for yourself. Find out if he was lying.
This is the first time I haven't done it.
Girlfriend, stop it. You have to do it. When are you talking to him again?
Never.
Really?
No, I don't play that. No.
Oh my God, check you out.
Which is crazy, because I do background checks for all of my clients and anyone I send out with a client, and then I have the ability to do it for myself, and I don't do it.
You don't even want to know if he is lying or not?
No, I know from his reaction and from my gut, he is very much lying.
Oh yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
you know what? Look, I like a guy who's smooth and nice and complimentary and all these great things. But if you're coming out the gate being like overly debonair, if that's the right word I'm thinking of,
Yeah.
fuck you. You're a player.
Yeah.
And he sounds
He's
like a
like
player. I'm sorry.
100%. He used to play professional basketball, so he's like very
Oh,
attractive, very smooth, and he's just like, I could stare at you all day long, and just all
Jesus
blah,
Christ.
blah, 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 blah.
I could stare at you all day long too, but I'm not going to lie about whether I'm married or not.
Well,
Oh,
I can't. So yeah, so there was that story to start the show.
nice. Oh my God. Well, I don't
Yeah.
like that story. That's not a good story because you deserve someone really incredible and intentional. And
Yeah.
maybe we just need to clean your shit out, your aura out, and get
Yep.
you like all like set your intentions and just
Yeah.
start from scratch. Because man, that is shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Not so good. I'm so good at matching people. I've got people married. I've got people engaged. But
Well, we just got to turn it around to you. You
yeah,
got to believe that you deserve the same thing.
100%.
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
my week has been interesting. I've had a very busy, crazy week. The last 2 weeks have been so intense that
Yeah.
I haven't been able to see my boyfriend for 2 weeks. And it's going to be another almost 2 weeks again before I see him. So he hopped on the train and came up to see me last night. And it just happened to be like 7 months since we've started dating. And so he took me to dinner, and then a package arrived from Amazon. Y'all, if you're not dating a man who sends packages to your doorstep that has these kind of things in it,
I
then
was
you're
wondering, I'm looking, I'm like, is that what we talked about last week?
yeah. For those
Yeah.
of you who are just listening and not watching, he ordered this. He's sitting in the other room, and so I'm a little red.
I see it.
Yeah, I'm a little blushed. Yeah, me of all people. He ordered this double-sided, really soft, beautiful, my favorite color ribbon. And then he cuts it into certain lengths. And so these tied my hands and wrists separately and had a little thing here like this. And then he did the same thing to my feet and ankles. And
Yeah,
then
but like that though.
no.
Oh,
So my this to that ankle and this to that ankle.
nice.
He's in the room, I know he is. And then this was around my neck so that it easily.
Oh, look at that.
So then he can control that. So I had a good night.
Hence the giggles.
I'm dying here. So yeah, it was 2 weeks, and we were making up for lost time, and then we knew we were going to see each other for 2 more weeks. So
Wait, is he in your home? Can he hear you right now?
he's in my living room. He can hear everything, but he can only hear my side of the story. That's why I'm a little embarrassed.
That is hilarious.
He's like, it's not anything I haven't heard before. I was like, well, it's a good thing I'm talking about you and not somebody else this morning.
Oh my gosh. How are you doing that? Not embarrassed. I would be very flustered.
I am a little, but whatever. He knows I talk about our shit. He knows that that I file it for memory to later discuss it with all my girlfriends in my podcast world. He doesn't get
Oh my gosh.
anyway, there we
Okay,
go.
so our guest today, let's talk about our
Yeah.
guest.
Let's do. Well, today we had to pivot really quickly. I had
Yeah.
somebody from TikTok again, which TikTok is great because it really has some incredible people on it. But then once in a while you get a fucking flake. And she flaked on us less than 24 hours ago. And we had to pivot really quickly and get another guest. And I am so thrilled because it did us a favor. We have an incredible guest today. So today we are talking about the art of resilience. Yeah. So the art of resilience, if you don't know what it is, it's going from heartbreak to finding and growing through it. So today we have our special guest is Karina Gil. She has a PhD and a bunch of other little letters behind her name, which is, fascinating to me. She is Worden School of Social Services director, and she's associate professor at Our Lady of Lake University. She is passionate about issues related to women and Latinos' access to positions of power and leadership, and issues related to race and ethnicity and decolonizing practices. Additionally, in her own life experiences, she learns more to be able to help others overcome issues such as heartbreak. She recently experienced the end of a significant relationship and used her resilience and her expertise to overcome them. She In this light, she also is currently working on conducting a study of Latina professionals who have experienced the end of relationship and learn how the culture and personal aspects of that have helped other women move on and become resilient as well. She is a friend and client of our good friend Janice from X Files, and she also did an episode with Janice on X Files. So Janice stepped up and said, "Oh my God, you have to meet Karina. She's incredible." And I happen to agree with her. So let's bring on Karina and we'll have a little chit chat with her.
Hi.
I'm always like, I'm sure these women are super, like, hi, having fun in the green room, listening to our funny stories.
I love
So,
the energy.
Karina-
I love the energy coming from the screen from both of you. It's great.
We're just some sassy bitches. So,
That's us.
Awesome.
we're really happy to have you with us. You are really helping us today, and I love the topic. I think that we are really excited to hear more about you. So, Karina, what got you on the path to working with people, helping them through their own, heartbreak and experiences?
I think it's what motivates anybody to do anything. You go through the experience, you sometimes go through hell, and you want to, at the end of it, not only have learned something, but use it, leverage that to be able to help others, because really that's what life is about. You go through experiences, you learn something, and hopefully you can offer that, what you learn, to help others.
That's awesome. So tell us your story. What happened with you and what got you on this path?
Do we have enough time? Well, I have to provide context. So let's say that in the last year and a half, I have gone through 3 different types of heartbreak. So the first one started when I got divorced, which it was about a year and a half ago, after
Okay.
a 20 plus year marriage.
Wow.
So that was a significant loss, because it wasn't just the loss of the marriage, but it was the
Right.
loss of a family, his family, my
Mhm.
family. I'm originally from Chile, so my family is not here. And everything that you hope and dream, and that idea that you have, right, of what your future will look like. So that was a significant loss.
But
Um,
also, if I may,
yes.
tell me if I'm not correct. You're side by side with a man for more than 20 years. He becomes your best friend. And when you lose that relationship in your, with your divorce, you're also losing the partner that you turn to for everything. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I have no
Wow.
fucking friends.
Yeah.
Well, you live in a bubble. You live in a
Yeah.
bubble for 20 something years. Everything, even your friendships, are part
Mhm.
of this marriage. Like
Yeah.
everything is part of this marriage. So yes, it is a significant loss.
Yeah.
Um, 7 days after my marriage ended, I met somebody. And I started another relationship without giving the proper time that I
Uh-oh.
needed to heal.
Mhm.
Yes, lesson number
Mhm.
one, don't jump into a relationship. No matter how much you think you are done, when you have a significant loss in your life, you have to give it the time.
Mhm.
You're just, in my case, it was the end of the marriage. It was also selling a house,
Mhm.
the family house, getting my own place, my daughter going out to college. It was one thing after another, after another, after another. And all of a sudden, I meet this person. I decide to go to meetup groups to meet a whole other different group of friends.
Mhm.
And
Which is a great idea, by the way.
it is an awesome idea. I fully
Yeah.
recommend it. Just don't date right away. I don't date the organizer of the group. It happened to be the organizer of the group. And it was this one person kind of holding the light when you're in the middle of this, hurricane.
Yeah, but also, do you not feel like, in a sense, you're worried about if you can take care of things by yourself, and here comes this person that could maybe subconsciously you're thinking could rescue you?
I am not sure if that, I mean, honestly, I don't know what my mind frame was. I am pre
Mhm.
independent. I was always very independent, even throughout my
Mhm.
marriage, feeling
Mhm.
like I can do everything, and I can. But it was at the end of my marriage. I did marry who was my best friend at the time.
Mhm.
We dated for a while, we lived together for a while, and then we got married. And but towards the end of my marriage, we were two different people.
Mhm.
um, that friendship wasn't there. So this person, and so nobody was calling me beautiful anymore. Nobody was giving me the attention, and
Mhm.
this person was doing all of that.
Mhm.
This is the thing, and I guess lesson number two: when you are going through your lowest or experience something significant, is when the quote unquote monsters come in and take advantage.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I landed in a relationship with a narcissist. And
Mm.
I have never been in a relationship like that in my life. I didn't know what a narcissist was until I got out of that relationship and found the book that fully described the relationship and was like, oh my God. And so if you know anything about narcissists, I mean, they love bomb you. They
Mhm.
become the person you need to hook you.
Mhm.
They
Yes.
become everything. So it was so nice to get that attention, to get that what I thought somebody really caring. I was like, wow, I'm very lucky to find somebody right away, right?
Right.
Who is so caring, who is constantly checking on me because he cares so much. I was like, oh no, 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 that was a controlling, but I couldn't see, even with all of my education, I have
Mhm.
worked with victims of domestic violence and sexual assault in my pre-academic life. So I knew all the signs. Um, this person by no means was violent, but he was manipulative and started being
Yeah.
controlling. I just didn't see it as that.
I have to say something along the lines of what you're saying there, Karina, is a lot of women allow the excuse to just kind of like, oh, well, he was manipulative and he was controlling and he mind fucked me and he was a narcissist and he was a gaslighter, but he didn't hit me. And I think that we need to take a step back and realize that that abuse is just as bad, if not more detrimental than
Yeah.
a bruise, because a bruise goes away, but the damage in someone's heart and mind and soul does not
Yeah.
necessarily go away that easily.
Definitely. Definitely. No, I agree 100%. It's just a different way of controlling and manipulating. It just
Yeah.
has many different ways, right?
Yeah.
In this particular case, it was more of the manipulation, the gaslighting, and the controlling.
Mm.
So the thing is that when you get into a toxic relationship, you become toxic yourself,
Oh yeah.
because you are trying to figure things out, and it becomes the language of the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
True.
but so, but the other thing that happened through that relationship is that I started healing from my marriage, from
Mhm.
that, and when I started finally putting two and two together, I realized, okay, what the heck am I doing here? What the heck? Wait a minute. This is not love. This is, we're fighting all the time. And now it's coming to a point that anything that I say, I'm either playing the victim or I'm trying to manipulate the person. That's what he was saying. So I can never win.
Yeah.
This is sounding a lot like, a lot of the people that I used to work with.
Yeah.
So I ended the relationship. The relationship really didn't last more than 6 to 8 months, depending on when you count that we started. So I was able to get out of it. The funny thing with this, and what really made it traumatic to me about the ending, is that I ended up with that person on a Tuesday. And this is important. The day is important. And it was beautiful. It was like, okay, we could have been friends at that point. He comes on a Thursday to break up with me. See that? I broke up with a Tuesday. Comes on a Thursday to break up with me.
Because they have to have that power.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
it was emotional. It was dramatic. It was something that I was like, what the heck is going on? My dog peeing the carpet. My cats were acting out. And this, I mean, this is a dog that she passed away now, but she would never have done that. I mean, it was a whole thing. And I broke up with him twice during the breakup. He's breaking up with, and then he made accusations that I caused him a panic attack. And then I went into this mode that I wanted to rescue him because I
Mhm.
had caused him that pain. But that's how he got the upper. So it was very, I was like, I don't know what's going on. I
Mhm.
really, my brain could not understand it. And for me to understand things, yes, I understand the emotional part, but I am very intellectual. So I had
Mm.
to read.
Mhm.
So I read so much until I found this one book that starts with a vignette that fully describes my relationship, and it was a book about narcissism. And then is when it hit me like, oh my god, that's who I was dealing with. This is why I couldn't understand, and I wasn't in a frame of mind because I was going through my own thing. So fortunately, I went on contact, and I had a
Good
great
idea.
support system,
Yeah.
and I did a lot of work on myself.
Mhm.
And then I got into another relationship.
It was such a hard lesson to learn. You had to try it twice.
I did it again.
I did it again, and
Oops, I
I
did
did
it.
it again. This the person that I got into a very short-lived relationship with somebody that I consider a friend. That we were friends, so I knew this person for a while. This person wasn't in a good situation, and basically wasn't somebody who could be emotionally available.
Mm.
And that seems to be a pattern that I realized after that my
Yes.
ex-husband wasn't fully emotionally available there, and this person mirrored my husband a lot
Well,
in
stop dating your fucking friends.
I know. I am not
No
anymore.
more. No more for you. Oh my
It was
God.
a great relationship. The short-lived relationship was really great. It was just very unfortunate. And honestly, what I can say about that relationship is that the person just wasn't in a position to be there. Some of us experience life and some of us live life. Experiencing life is like you read a book and you're experiencing what's happening in that book through the reading, but you're not
Mhm.
living that.
Yeah.
So the difference between me and that person is that that person was experiencing life where I'm always living life. I'm always go 110%, and I do not regret that at
It's
all.
that chili girl.
As
Yes.
here we go.
The spicy. Yeah, that spicy bitch, Karina. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Not too spicy though, with a little
Yeah,
bit of other flavoring, but yes.
I love it. I love it. So
uh,
what helped you get through this kind of stuff? What helped you move forward and see these signs and make those changes?
So, first of all, go back to what I just said. I honestly and truly believe that this life is meant to be lived. And in
Mhm.
order for you to live life, you have to understand that there will be points where you're going to be in pain, you're going to suffer pain, or you're going to suffer heartbreak because you
Mhm.
have to risk things when you're living life.
Yeah.
Not everybody that comes your way is going to be somebody who's going to stay. Not
Mhm.
everybody who comes your way is going to be somebody that you want them to stay.
Hey.
Uh, so, and it may work for a while, like in my marriage, it worked until it didn't work, or it
Mhm.
may just be for a couple of months. But whatever it is, you learn something. You learn something about yourself, and you learn
Mhm.
something about others, and you get a better idea of what you really want. It's
Mhm.
almost like you go through this trial and error. And yes, it hurts like hell. All those three relationships, it hurt one way or another. But I learned, and I gave myself the opportunity to really learn what it is to experience those things and live through those things and move forward. Resiliency, which is our topic, it's part of it. People, and I know that I've seen many Facebook pages for breakups where people
Mhm.
are like, I can't continue to live. I lost my best friend. This person was my whole life. I can
Mhm.
tell you that you can continue to live, that the resilience is embedded in you. If you made it this far in life, it's
Mhm.
because you develop resilience. If you made it this far in life, it's because you have experienced loss before. It may not
Mhm.
have been a romantic partner, it could have been a friend, it could have been a pet, it could have been a family member, it could have
Mhm.
been moving from one place to another. There's so many different types of loss that we experience through life, but you have that resilience, and it is there.
I think that if you find somebody that actually says something like what you said is, "Oh, I can't go on without this person." Um, that's a person who's lacking a relationship with themselves. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because if they're not happy within themselves, then they're certainly going to wrap everything up into this other person and think that they've lost everything when they really haven't. Because what you're saying is being resilient comes with life experiences, and I think people don't stop to realize that when they're in a relationship, they have to still be in a relationship with themselves, not just with their partner.
Right, and a few things though, because yes, but at the same time, I'm very hesitant in putting a blame in people while they're going through their own journey and their own experiences. We
Mhm.
all have a journey to go through. When we go through heartbreak, when you go through a heartbreak, a lot of things pop up, right? All of your insecurities come up.
Mhm.
Even if you're the one who originated the breakup, or somebody broke up with you, the insecurities come to light. Maybe I wasn't good enough, maybe I wasn't pretty enough, maybe I didn't say the things right, maybe I didn't cook the eggs right, or things like gosh, then your more embedded issues come to light as well. Maybe your relationship with your parents growing up, with your dad if you're a female, but also with your mom. I mean, there's so many abandonment issues. We talk a lot about abandonment issues. All of that comes into play. And because you just experienced that loss, it's a major trauma, not only to your brain, to your mind, but to your body too, because you're in a way addicted to this person. So removing that addiction causes physical reactions in your body. So going through this, sometimes you're not able to fully see that you have that resilience in you. You need to give it time. So I would recommend to anybody going through a heartbreak right now, give yourself time. I know it's better said than done, but do it. Practice self-care. Do whatever you need to really take care of yourself. If you have to be, in bed wearing PJs the whole day, just watching Netflix, do that. If you need to eat a box of chocolate, do that. You plan later on to maybe go for a walk in a couple of weeks. Okay, that's not sustainable. But whatever you need to do in a healthy way, do it. So the trauma that your mind, your body, your heart is going through can level up. So you can start thinking, and you can start being reminded of who you are, your resilience, the beauty that is inside you that nobody can take away, right?
I love that.
Your own self. It's really about going back to your core, yourself. Whatever, and also remember, many times when we connect with somebody, what we see in other people, the beautiful things that we see in other people when we fall in love, are reflection of the things that we have. A lot of it is a reflection of what we have, and we connect that way. It's not what we're lacking. We think it's what we're lacking, but it's also what is in us already. So connect back to your source, which is in you, and just give yourself the time. Honor the pain you're going through. Don't try to avoid it. You have to go through this. Yes, you have to cry. If you have to scream, scream. Whatever it is, if you have to write it out, do it. And then you'll come
I love
out
that.
the other way, one way or another. And it's not a linear process, because the other thing about a breakup is that you're grieving. And
Yeah.
anybody who has experienced loss knows that it's not a linear process. You might be doing really well one day. You're with your friends, having fun, dancing, whatever. And then all of a sudden, there's a song, there's a smell, there's nothing, and it reminds you of when you were with that person and what that person was, how that person enhanced your life in that particular moment. And give yourself to acknowledge and honor that. Grieve it. If you need to cry again, do it. It's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be vulnerable. Brené Brown is really bringing back vulnerability, and I love that, because it's okay. The only way to grow and learn and to move on is to be vulnerable. So understanding that is not linear. It is. It is a process. You're going to be really great some days, and other days you're just going to feel like, no, this is one of those days that I need some time for myself. Then you take the time for yourself, and then you keep on going, because that's life. There is no way around it. That's how life is. And all of these experiences are meant to make us stronger, to really help us evolve. And someday you will realize, if you haven't yet, that the best relationship you will ever have is the best relationship you have always had. It's with yourself.
Yourself.
Even if you're a twin, you came to this world with yourself. Yes, maybe somebody else was in the womb with you, but you with yourself. That's the best relationship you can have. And anybody else who comes after you, it's meant to come to enhance your life. not
True.
give your power, your full power away. No, you enhance it with them. And that's not only with romantic relationships, it's with friendships, it's with anyone. We have to be careful how we who we share our energy with. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we share it for a period of time, and then we say that's it, that's as much I can give right now, because that was it, that was the end of this relationship, and then you move on. But it takes time, and you need to give yourself the time to go through all the stages of this, all the non-linear stages of like this, I will say, unless mine have been like,
Yeah, I think people think that, oh yeah, I gave myself a couple weeks and I'm over it. And then, like you said, all of a sudden it hits them and they're like, oh my God, I'm not over it. But it's just a process. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
Do you usually suggest a specific timeline or a specific amount of time? Would you say like 6 months is reasonable or 12 months is reasonable?
I can't really suggest that, because every individual, it's their own person, their own universe. What I will say though, if you are, it's been a few weeks and you are experiencing major depression, you can't eat, you can't sleep, your anxiety is off the roof, you're thinking about hurting yourself or losing the will for life, please
Mhm.
seek a counselor, a mental health professional. It's okay. As a matter of fact, when I decided that I was going to get divorced, like as I mentioned, I don't have family here, and my friends were all marriage related. I intentionally looked for a counselor to
Mhm.
help me grow, because I knew I was going to need somebody other than myself to go
That's
through it,
great.
and a spiritual advisor. And
Mm.
although she was, and it wasn't an intentional thing, it was just something that um, happened by providence. It's how we say it. I talked to a friend of mine who happens to be the spiritual advisor, and I said, funny you should call, because I really need to talk to somebody. So
Mhm.
that one wasn't as intentional, but gosh, those two people pretty much helped me through my journey of
Mm.
getting the divorce. And my divorce, it only took 60 days to be final, because we
Oh,
were,
wow.
yeah, it was like an in and out, and you were done with 20 something years of
Wow.
marriage. So it was a lot faster than you would have imagined, and that had consequences. And but but yes, it's okay to reach out to a friend, reach out to a counselor, a mental health professional, whomever can help out, because sometimes we need help. And if you experience domestic violence, any type of violence, any type of
Mhm.
really toxic relationship, reach out, because
Yeah.
toxic relationship are something completely different. The ramifications of that, even if it was short term, lingers, because it's so unexpected. You don't know. It's almost, I'm very visual how I see it. I don't know if you ever been to, to the ocean. You're in the ocean, and then all of a sudden, a wave catches you, and you go like,
Yeah.
like that. That's how it felt. And coming out of that, you're like, whoa, I don't know what just happened.
Well, we also tend to blame ourselves when we come out of relationships like that. We think, oh, I should have seen it, or what was wrong with me that I attracted that person, and
Or I
you know
shouldn't have said this, or maybe I shouldn't have done that.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that shit
Hmm.
happens.
Yeah.
And you know
Well, that's unfortunately for women. We've been socialized that everything is our responsibility.
yeah.
Hmm.
I was just listening to something about married women, and I was just thinking about my own marriage, reflecting on that. How yes, I have a PhD, and my ex-husband supported me through all my education. For the most part, he was there, but and I have a thriving profession. But then going back home, I also had to cook, I also had to clean, like the major home responsibilities were also mine. And I was like,
Yeah.
I neglected myself. I was like so overwhelmed. And that affects you. Why? Because I felt responsible. And culturally, as a Latina, I felt
Mm.
like, yes, well, I'm doing all this professional, but I also need to show up at home and make sure that my house is spotless and this, and I could never fully keep up. And that's
Mhm.
the taking in the responsibility. The truth is that a relationship is the responsibility of two people.
Mhm.
And when a
Yeah.
relationship breaks up, it's because, well, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And no matter how perfect you are or the person is, it just didn't click anymore at that point in time. And it didn't click for you or it didn't click for them. And that's perfectly fine. You take all of your gifts, all of your amazingness, that's not a word, awesomeness,
It is now.
all of your beauty, and keep it to yourself until there is somebody else who's worth it, who will come to, if you want them, to enhance your life, and then you share your gifts, and that's it.
I think that when it comes to past relationships, we shouldn't beat ourselves up about the choices we made to be in them. I think that we should take it as it was a step and a lesson that we needed to learn to become the people that we are now. That if we use those as, oh my gosh, I was in a wrong place, or I was picking wrong, or I was blah blah blah. Stop. I agree with you. I think we should stop killing ourselves over this and just say, look, I needed that to be in this growth place that I am now, and take it as a lesson, and also take it as a road that you no longer have to take. You learned that lesson, take what you need from it and move forward. So
I
are you?
agree 100%. I mean, my personal worldview is that everything happens for a reason,
Mhm.
and that I don't regret anything in my life. As a matter of fact, I guess my biggest fear is to be in my deathbed and not have lived life.
Right.
And part of living my life was to experience all of these relationships. And
Mhm.
honestly, I am at a point where I have love for all of these people that came to my life one way or another, and I wish them the best. I want them to be happy. Of course, my ex-husband, the father of my only child, shout out to my child, because she always says, Mom, you didn't mention me. My amazing 21-year-old daughter, who is an old soul,
Cute.
by the way, and
I love that.
I am her mom, but we are very good friends, my best friend in a way. So I want my ex-husband to be happy, to live a beautiful life, and for us to be friends. My ex, who is a narcissist, narcissism is rooted on trauma and a low self-esteem.
Mhm.
So from a social work perspective, I feel for that person, and I wish he can find whatever he needs to grow, develop, and be happy in this life,
Mm.
whatever happiness means to him, as long as he's not hurting anybody. And
Right.
for the other person, I really wish for him to start living his life, because
Mm.
this person is an amazing, talented person who deserves so much more from life. So I really wish this person the absolute best.
I love
And
that.
that's really, I can go live life
Hmm.
resenting anybody. I learned so much from these relationships, and I'm here today in front of you literally because of the ending of all of those relationships. So how can I not be
Yeah.
grateful?
Right? I love that. So you're so you're helping other Latino women and women of culture to move forward, to take learn these steps. Is that what you're doing these days?
So one of the things that I'm doing, I am about to conduct a research with Latino women, but other women of color as well, uh, I'm concentrating on professional women because our experiences can be a little bit different because we still need to show up at work, right? Your heart is breaking, you still need to show up at work. If you have a leadership position, you still need to be there and be the director, be the boss, and do all of that. So how do you manage that? How do you bring on your resilience and do that? And then we have cultural aspects. For example, in the Latino community, there is something called the Marianismo, which comes from the Virgin Mary, where literally you have to sacrifice yourself for your family.
Yeah.
That's for being a female. And what is that telling you is that we have a lot of women who perhaps they wanted to break up. Maybe they were in a marriage that they were unhappy, but they would not do it because they needed to sacrifice themselves, and and the person ended up breaking up with them. But that has a whole other a layer of trauma. So I'm trying to learn more about these experiences and see how I can with and also about their resilience going through this, and how this can then help others going through this with our experiences. And then there's so many other different layers to it, but that's what I'm doing.
There was I love that. You'll have to keep us posted on how you're doing on your research. Before we go, you said there was a book that helped you. I want to put that book up.
Oh my gosh, I will have to look it up. I can send you the information. I don't have it with me. But it was, I read a lot of books, but this book, the vignette, and it is on the first chapter. You start the book by reading the vignette. I was like, somebody was following me. Somebody was following me, because this truly, it was a replica of that toxic relationship. Exactly the point.
Yeah, I think sometimes people need to have something really in their face to go, oh my God, this is everything all my friends were telling me, and help them get out of a situation that they may feel like they can't. And especially like what you're saying is women of certain cultures, they don't feel like they have those choices as to get out,
Yeah, it can be a lot more challenging. And sometimes we don't have the words, or we don't have the concept. So we can attribute it. Like in the beginning, I was attributed a lot of the things as this person having a low attachment style, meaning they couldn't really attach to anybody. But so I was like, okay, I understand that language. But then I didn't really know about narcissism. And honestly, very few people, even people educated in mental health, have that knowledge. So this really helped me give me all of that. Wow. And then I was like, oh, now I know.
I love that. So we only have a minute left. Time flies really fast, but I found something last night that I screen saved, and I think that it kind of works with what we're talking about today, and it really hit me in all my feels, and I think that it's kind of poignant. It says, you can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you.
Yes. That's good.
Is that amazing or what? And I also think it's the same thing with yourself. You can make changes within yourself. There's never a time that you can't grow. If someone says, oh, I'm just the way I am, well, you've stuck yourself in a place where you're not going to move forward and grow. And I think that anybody who's going through tough times like this and divorces or breakups or anything, even if it's family, friends, and relationships, you really have to stop, take a step back, and evaluate your growth and your healing, and then start to realize other relationships.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karina, for coming today.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you. Like, honestly, this was a great show. I loved hearing what you had to say. And you were our hero today. You came and saved our show. Everybody would have had to listen to Jada and I talk by ourselves again. And I'm not sure they always love that. I love it, but whatever.
Thank you.
But
Thank you so
thank
much.
you for coming. And if you find out that your research is, leading you in a direction that you find really fascinating or interesting, and you want to share that with us, you are always welcome to come back. We love you. You're great. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. And much love and light to everybody.
Yeah, I love that. And I love how bright and positive you are. It's so gorgeous. It's really, really beautiful. And if you ever have a time that you feel like no one's telling you you're beautiful, you got to call me.
Oh,
We'll tell you.
It's
the day of the women supporting women. I love that.
Yes.
Well, everyone, thanks for coming and seeing Jada and I today again. We hope that you come back again next week. I don't even know what we're doing next week, but we're doing something fun, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think it might have something to do with, I don't know, sugar babies or something, maybe. But thanks for joining us again. Same time, same place next week. And until then, let's keep it real.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.